Welcome to Fluffy Sexy Bitches, and welcome to another set of reading of SCP Foundation. I am so exhausted. Okay, hold on, I need to test something. So if I start talking and... That's odd. So does this not change anything about... no, it does. Maybe not majorly, but... it does change the sensitivity, it seems. Okay, let me... boom. I forgot about that. I keep forgetting about it, to be honest, but it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I'm just tired from all the things that happened this week, but I am ready to read. Henry is right here. He's ready as well. And yeah, I hope you guys are all doing well. I'm not sure what I just said. I was like, I hope you guys. It's fine. Oh god, I also have some pain in my finger and in my right index toe as well. Actually, middle toe. It's the middle toe. Been working out again, so maybe that's why. Maybe my body's just like, dude, it's been too long. What are you doing to us? How are we supposed to survive? And I'm over here like, you just gotta do it, bro. Just do it for me. Alright. Unsure if the music is too loud or too quiet. I'm just going to do this just to be sure. And I think we can start now. Okay, SCP-1060 Penangalan? Okay, that doesn't sound like something I can guess what it is, so I'm just going to go right into reading it. Very short. The Euclid 1, SCP-1060 is to be contained in a humanoid observation detention cell. Why is it always when I read SCPs is when I realize like my glasses are dirty as shit. Humanoid observation detention cell at all times. During subject's daytime cycle, subject is to be provided with food items from the Site 33 cafeteria. During subject's nighttime cycle, object is to be nourished with a 0.8 kilogram of human placental material and provided with a basin of at least 4 liters of rice and wine vinegar. That's a very specific diet. That's a very specific. I just now realize I should probably add some more tags. SCP Foundation. Yes, there we go. That should be good. Here we go. SCP-1060 is a human female of Southeast Asian ethnicity, answering to the name of... I'm gonna get a bit of sounds ready. Answering to the name of Adila. Subject is fluent in the... Let me just get all this stuff ready here. Is fluent in the Malay language and somewhat conversant in Malaysian English. In interviews during subject's daytime cycle, subject has indicated that she is 22 years of age, is trained as an obstetrics nurse, and is unaware of any unusual aspects of her physiology. In these interviews, subject has expressed a lack of awareness of her nighttime cycle physiology or activities and protests that she merely sleeps at night. During the day... Don't you fucking start now, apartment. During the daytime cycle, subject frequently demands to be released from containment or to be permitted to contact family members. Why does it sound familiar? Wasn't there like a show back in the day where once the person fell asleep, they were doing stuff in their sleep that they don't remember when they woke up? Was that a thing? I mean, there's a Scooby-Doo monster like that. There was like the weird cat monster that like when she fell asleep, she'd be transformed into a werecat and then went around stealing shit. So that was a thing I know, but why do I feel like I might have Mandela affected that into my brain that like that there was a show of a cat, like some person going to bed, and then like the once they went to sleep, the body, like they would switch personality, and then the body would just go around doing shit their own. I might be wrong. I think it sounds like something I watched, but I might be absolutely wrong on that. During subject's daytime cycle, subject appears and behaves as a normal human female. During subject's nighttime cycle, which generally begins within 80 minutes after the subject falls asleep, subject's head and internal body organs, heart, lungs, liver, and much of the digestive system and gut detach from the rest of the subject's body with a sudden jerking motion, leaving a hole around the base of the subject's neck. Oh hey! Hey Anon, how you doing? Welcome to Fluff. You're getting a lot better by showing up right on time, don't you? Yeah, we're just reading the first one called Penangalan. Looks like this SCP just shoots out everything that's inside out. From the sounds of it, subject head and organs then levitate by means of an unknown process and freely float around the containment cell, while subject's tongue, which increases to approximately 22 centimeters in length during the stage, flicks at the air in the manner of a snake. I don't know about you, Anon. I don't know about you. But if I was, let's just say, a janitor, just washing the foundations, like, oh god, they don't pay me enough for this shit, I should ask for a raise. And then I look up, and I see a floating head with a tongue just going, I'll be like, I ain't asking for a raise no more, I'm quitting, I'm done. At night, not even at daytime, at night, dude. If I just saw that, a floating head just with the tongue flicking up and down, coming at me, levitating in the air, I'll leave. I'll ask for some hardcore amnestic so I can restart my life from the very beginning and then just leave. The remainder of subject's body remains lying in the resting position. Subject's upper and lower canine teeth also increase in length and sharpness during the stage. That doesn't make any better. Under normal containment circumstances, subjects will consume the provided placental materials using the dangling lengths of gut in the manner of prehensile limbs to lift the material to the subject's mouth. Following the feeding, the subject will dip the exposed open layers. Wait on. Okay, everything's working. Will dip the exposed organs into the vinegar, whereupon the organs shrink so that they can be stuffed back into the subject's body cavity. The head then reattached to the body, leaving no visible seam or scar. Well, I'm scarred. Addendum 1A. Following incident 1060.1, no pregnant females are to be admitted into the containment chamber during SCP-106's nighttime cycle. During incident 1060.1, researcher Marilyn, who at the time was in her second trimester of pregnancy, entered the containment chamber during subject's nighttime cycle to top off the basin of vinegar. Immediately upon SCP-1060 detection of Mrs. Z's presence in the chamber, SCP-1060 flew at Mrs. at a great rate of speed, then used lengths of prehensile gut to bind and immobilize Miss. Subject then bit the researcher in the abdomen and consumed the fetus in situ, together with most of the rest of the uterus and its contents. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. Now that's a game. That's a start for sure. Damn, boy. How is the Foundation, like how are the staff member not just forever traumatized and just think to themselves like, I just once I'm at a certain age, I'm just going because there's too much shit that flying around, crawling around, jumping around, running around, that would traumatize any regular human. How can anybody just sit here and do this? Okay. Like, how can anybody just sit here and be like, well, we gotta capture them and do some experiments with them, there's no other choice. The moment I heard that this SCP was in the building, I'd be like, I think I'm done. I think this is the moment humanity has to save itself. We're not responsible for everything. How about we just tell everybody? The accidental car. Now see, the pay must be really good, I guess. I think it's less if the pay is good, and I think it's more like the consequences of not doing this job might be even worse than doing the job. So I guess that's the only way. That's the only way I can, like, you know, power through it, right? I just be like, okay, Afro, you have to do this. If you don't do this, then the world is fucked. Just do this. You have weekends off, and you have vacations. You can see your girlfriend. You can see your family. Just do this for like 5 days straight, and then weekend just forget this for a while and go back into it afterwards. Okay. Okay, I think with the accidental car, it's definitely either it's trying to make me think of a car that is prone to accidents, even if it's just standing still. Like, you just step into the car, next thing you know, a fucking cannonball gets shot at it, and you're like, what the fuck? I'm in an open field. Or it's a car that it's like made out of so many different materials that don't fit together, but it just works and drives. Ooh, this is okay. It's safe. SCP-1061 should be kept in a secured, climate-controlled garage. Its tires have been removed and should not be replaced for any reason. Its doors should be locked at all times and its windshield boarded up, unless testing is in progress. All experiments are to be performed within the garage. Access to SCP-1061 is restricted to Level 4 personnel and to D-Class personnel engaged in authorized testing. Aside from authorized testing, it is forbidden for anyone not seated in any of the passenger seats to make any contact with any part of the driver's seat. Personnel who make contact with the driver's seat while not seated in any of the passenger seats become instances of -1 and are to be apprehended until such time as they can be used in approved testing. Removal of post-test biological waste from SCP-1061's interior is to be performed by robotic manipulators. No other maintenance is to be performed on SCP-1061. Okay. Looks like very much like, yeah. Like most safe ones, either like don't use it unless you absolutely have to do an experiment with it, or very highly guarded. But this one, yeah, seems to be like just a lot of restrictions unless you experiment with it. So SCP-1061 is a dark red 1992 Pontiac Grand Am with severe collision damage, including a large hole in its driver's side front windshield. It manifests 3 distinct anomalous properties. These properties are considered to be linked in that they seem to be caused by the same anomalous entity. Oh, there's an entity connected to this one. That is a problem. You don't want to hear that stuff, you know. You don't want to step into a car and then find out like, oh, somebody else is with me, but I don't know who, what, or where. The first anomalous property is that SCP-1061 is associated with several illusions. That's the last thing you'll want on driving a car, is to hallucinate anything. The collision damage is only visible from the outside. When viewed from inside or through an open door, SCP-1061's interior appears completely intact. This is purely a visual illusion and is detectable by electronic recording devices. When viewed from the inside, the side windows, when closed, and rear windshield show the city of redacted and its environs on 1996. as determined by meteorological, astronomical, and botanical observation and by sightings of newspaper and other periodicals. The day that SCP-1061 was in its collision, the front windshield will likewise show the city and its environs. However, the hole in the front windshield made by the impact of the original driver's head shows neither urban, suburban, redacted, nor the containment chamber instead. Instead, it shows a featureless gray expanse. If the driver's seat remains unoccupied, individuals occupying the other seats are looking through the open doors. See that SCP-1061 is parked along the curb in front of the suburban residence, as with the illusory... Oh my god, what is up with me today? As with the illusory absence of vehicular damage, this illusion is visible to cameras and other electronic recording devices. However, this illusion does not activate unless a living human is seated within SCP-1061 and deactivated if all observers leave SCP-1061. The suburban environment always reflects the time of day at which the observers entered SCP-1061. If multiple observers enter SCP-1061 at different times, the environment will continue to reflect the time of day and as determined by the entry of the first observer. The environment persists until 6:04 p.m., the time of which SCP-1061 was in its collision. After 6:04 p.m., the environment visible outside SCP-1061 resets to approximately 10:27 a.m. as determined by shadow length, sun position, and the times at which local residents are seen to return home from work or school. Observers at this point report seeing a blonde woman walking away from SCP-1061's driver's door. Was she like in the car with the first collision? It also depends how she walks away from the driver's door, right? Does she like stumble, like she's like, oh, I'm kind of like dizzy, or does she like walk away like fucking like as if nothing happens, just catwalk like dun dun dun, and everyone's like, wait, hold on, hold on. You can't just leave a car accident and then just walk away with this much sass. Did you cause it? Yeah, Anon, did you cause the accident? just blaming my audience, like, did you cause the accident? Are you the reason the car crashed? You should be ashamed of yourself. The second anomalous property manifests when a live human sits in, touches SCP-1061's driver's seat. All such humans, with the exception of passenger seats, observers become instances of -1. -1 is a human whose mind has been overwritten with what is believed to be the mind of Redacted, who was the registered owner of SCP-1061 prior to being killed in its collision. She is also believed to have been the woman seen walking away from SCP-1061 when its illusory environment resets. Instances of SCP-1061-1 believe that they are still in 1996, even when removed from SCP-1061. Instances of -1 believe they are either at home or at one of various locations in and around the city of Redacted, and cannot be convinced otherwise. That must be the most frustrating thing, right? When like a person either in the SCP Foundation or in certain like medias, like movies and shows, when like you clearly are in a different time, but the person is not ready to accept. Like if you're time traveling somehow forward or backwards, trying to explain to any of those people about this must be the most frustrating thing to deal with, because either they believe it or don't, and if they don't believe it, then you just stay like, but I'm telling you the truth. Why not, you stupid bastard? And then like, yeah, it's just like, do you believe me? No, I don't believe you. Why not, you stupid bastard? Like, you know what I mean? I think that's how you would feel when you have to deal with somebody who doesn't accept that time traveling just happened to either you or the person you're talking to. When allowed to, when you're so bad at driving, you keep causing car crashes years after you die. Please, lady, step out of the car, but I gotta go to work. How are you supposed to go to work when you drove into a fucking tree? I didn't, but you just literally just did, just right now. No, there's no tree in front of me. Oh, this bitch. When allowed to remain within SCP-1061, -1 will drive SCP-1061 on various errands. Instances of -1 will either insert a random key into SCP-1061's ignition or mime having inserted a key. -1 will treat any passenger seat observers as friends of redacted, refer them by those friends' names, and engage them in one-sided conversation about the personal details of those friends. -1 has demonstrated that it is willing to let observers exit SCP-1061 upon request, and can easily be persuaded to allow new observers into SCP-1061, provided that their total number does not exceed 3. Observers report that when -1 is driving, the environment visible outside SCP-1061 is consistent with that of a car being driven through the streets of suburban redacted in 1996, and -1 will comment on incidents, people, and objects which are visible along its route. -1 will perform between 5 and 11 errands, during which time it will never voluntarily exit SCP-1061. Instead of at each stop, it will enter a catatonic state for no less than 30 seconds and no more than 11 minutes, in which case it will apologize to passenger seat observers for having taken so long inside the long lineups. The precise route followed by -1 varies between instances, as does the order of the errands. However, the overall nature of the errand remains the same. I don't know what it is about this and the previous SCP that just gives me a creepy vibe. Like, imagine you're in this car with this ghost woman. She just talks to you as if you're like some friend. And then like she just stops somewhere and just goes, whoa, man, hey, thank you for waiting. You know what I mean? Like, I was just, that would freak me out. It would just freak me out for a longer duration. Oh. Sorry, that was just a quick take. Oh god. Oh, me nose. After no less than 36 minutes. I have to send her a link. She wants to watch the stream, so I'll send her the link. Okay. After no less than 36 minutes and no more than 17 minutes, SCP-1061 drives past redacted laboratories and is involved in a head-on collision with a delivery van. Passenger seat observers will be unaffected by the illusory impact, but -1, who is not wearing its seatbelt, will be thrown forward with the typical force exerted on an unbelted driver engaged in a head-on collision. That must be a bit traumatic to watch. You're just there like, oh. You're just like, oh, I'm fine, but you... the illusion person you've been talking to just flies right through the window, and you're just there like, okay, well, I guess I'll just exit the car real quick. I'll just leave. At this point, SCP-1061 third anomalous property will manifest. High-speed photography reveals that within 2 milliseconds of SCP-1061-1's head touching the portion of windshield damaged by the impact with redacted head in 1996, a grey mist passes through the windshield hole and envelops -1's head. 1 millisecond later, the grey mist vanishes, taking -1's head with it. What is up with the SCPs today that has to do with having either a detached head or a floating head? It's both. Once decapitated, instances of -1 are no longer considered anomalous and can be disposed of appropriately. Passenger seat observers present during the collision report becoming aware of the existence of an anomalous entity. Henceforth, -2 note all data pertaining to -2's nature and motivations is the result of anecdotal evidence provided by D-Class, who have served as passenger seat observers in tests of SCP-1061. As such, the reliability of the data is uncertain as it is the question of whether -2 even exists. However, the anecdotal data responses have largely been in accordance with each other. Okay, here we have an interview log. So we have a doctor and -14, eh? Okay. Let's do this. So why is it doing this? Decapitating mist, huh? Well, that's horrifying. Yeah, imagine like without the car accident, just in real, like just the mist alone. You're just like talking to your friend, and suddenly like you see this fog coming along. You're like, oh, wow, okay, it's gonna be a foggy day. Let's just, but we're almost at home, right? So let's just go on, and then you just keep talking, and then you just like look around, like, man, it's real thick, right? And then you just turn back, and your friend's head's just completely gone, and you're like, Dave? Dave? Oh my god! It's like this, see, it didn't know we were here. It didn't even know our whole dimension even existed until right after the car crash, understand? Okay. And now it wants more car crashes, cause, well, it likes human heads. It likes them to eat? I don't know if that's the right word, honestly. Anyway, so it wants more car crashes. So it can get more heads, see? But it doesn't know how to make them happen. So it's like, okay, you guys are scientists, right? So you all did grade 8 science class. I suppose we did, yes. So you remember about like setting up an experiment, doing something different ways to find out which part matters? Oh, you mean experimental conditions? Yeah, that shit. So the thing is, this fucker, it doesn't know what made the car crash happen. So it's got all the experimental conditions, what the car looked like on the inside, what you could see from out the windows, what was in the driver's brain, all that shit. And it's making them happen over and over. Every time someone gets in the driver's seat, bam, their brain turns into what's her face from 1996, and she drives around for an hour until she gets in a car crash, and then it has her head. Thank you, this is most helpful. Tell me, how is it you know all this? I was front seat the passenger, doc. Anyone who front seat passenger during the crash knows this. Thank you very much. One other question. Why is it using such a complicated method? If it has the power to do all these things, aren't there much simpler ways? Just between me and you, doc. I don't think it's very smart. It's afraid to change too much. Because maybe this will start working. Until the fog hears you guys and is like, wait, there are other ways. I didn't even think about that. Of course. I'm an idiot. Okay. We had 2 SCPs that somehow had the idea of a head just leaving its body, except that one, the head comes back. I mean, in both cases, the head comes back. So, with one, the head just floats back and just boom, boom, attaches itself back, and the organs just float back into the body. And with the other one, the head just reattaches itself if you reset the whole process. So, yeah. Okay, NS Magazine time. Okay, I don't know what NS stands for. Trying to think if there's any SCP, like, if any of the other factions start with N and S. I don't think they do. I might be forgetting one, but yeah, it's a Time magazine, right? So here we go. Safe. Oh, let me ask her. There we go. Okay, here we go. SCP-1062 is currently contained in Secure Document Storage Locker number 82 at Sector 24. 25, God. Afro, come on. The document is only available for testing, which must be supervised by at least one Level 2 researcher under the authority of 2 Level 3 personnel. Declass utilized in testing are not to have the termination postponed except under the express command of an O5. 4 non-anomalous copies of SCP-1062 are held in Safe Document Storage File 3562 and are freely available to those with Level 2 clearance or higher. Okay, SCP-1062 is an issue of the weekly science magazine New Scientist, number 2833, time, and we have issue number 02624079. If this somehow has another decapitation in it somehow, I'm gonna be like, okay, SCP Foundation, it looks like I have reached a certain theme here. But I highly doubt it. The most mysterious dimension of all, 8th 10th 2011. Disregarding general wear, which would be expected from a magazine left in public waiting for room for days, the only noticeable deviation from a standard copy issue is a penciled note on the inside front cover 1148C. The anomalous effect of SCP-1062 becomes apparent when either a feature article or the editorial is read. Upon reading an affected passage, the reader, henceforth referred to as the subject, undergoes a perceptual shift which modifies a learned behavior and all memories associated with said behavior. Currently, no methods have been devised capable of detecting the occurrence of or nature of the perceptual shift. Therefore, the modification of the subject's behavioral patterns must be interfered from observation interview after testing has been concluded. Okay, I need to read it a little bit more just to understand this a bit better. Due to the fact that the subject will be unaware that any alteration has occurred, they may become distressed upon its revelation. On the presentation of evidence, contrary to the subject's memories, those aware of such ideas may reach the conclusion that they have been transported to an alternative dimension reality as a preference to the fact that their experiences and relocation may be false. This is considered improbable as no particles or radiation have been detected. The transformations caused by the document are unresponsive to all but the most potent grades of amnestics. However, normative behavior can be relearned with no further difficulty than would otherwise be expected. Okay, interesting. So basically, if I understand this correctly, once you read the magazine, you literally think you're in a different world. But you can snap them back into your reality, but that process alone might make them panic or paranoid because they're unaware which reality is the real one. If I understand this correctly, the effect of SCP-1062 is not contagious and it is not transmissible by reading aloud an article or by photocopying or otherwise reproducing the text. As of date of this document, no hypothesis on how the articles cause the effect has been proven. And here we have some testing, very minor. So here we go, number 8, 2011, and I'm going to do that for all the same date. So once is enough. Subject D2298, Ultimate Socks. Subject has no concept of cutlery. Okay, so not okay. I think I understand this more now. D2364, Editorial. Subject associates the color cyan with go. States traffic light sequence is red, amber, cyan. So that, yeah, okay, I see. So it's not that they fully travel to a different dimension. It's that they literally get information exchanged in their mind, as in like, yeah, as we shall see, like they don't see it as green, they see it as cyan or cyan, as I said, or they forget that cutlery even existed. Which is such a weird thing. Imagine that. Imagine you read a magazine, and then you like put it down, and then you see your partner eating with a fork, and you're like, "What the fuck? What is that?" And you're like, "Pasta? No, I know that's pasta, but what are you holding? A fork." What? Is everything okay? What? What is a fork? What? How do you... You show them a knife and a spoon and they lose the absolute shit. They're like... Since when is this a thing? I grew up my whole life not seeing any of this, and now we have this many. It's like, honey, like, you literally used it like 10 minutes ago. Like, you were eating... You were eating with me, using a fork. That can't be right. That can't be right. No. There's no way. There's no fucking way. You're lying to me. You're lying. Test number 17, subject D2687. The truth about time travel. Subject communicates in English with incorrect grammatical structure. New structure appears to follow Latin rules with logical consistency. In example, conjugated verbs occur at end of sentence structure. I mean, that's not too much different to what is happening to English language right now anyway. At least it's not a big personality change. Yeah, it's not, but it's depending on what like gets changed for you, that might just be a massive influence on your life. Like imagine, like I don't know, you read the magazine and then you forget what transportation is. Imagine you have to like explain to the person what a car, train, ship, and a plane is, and every time like then you enter with them into those things, and they act like as if like either they get scared from the very beginning again because they have no idea what it is, or they get like childishly excited to the extent where it's just embarrassing. And imagine going on a plane and then it's just somebody's like they're like, "What? Is this safe?" It's like, and like, "Sir, we've seen you fly this plane before. Are you okay?" Like, depending on what it changes in your mind, it can be big. It can also, I mean, right now these are mine. Like the first two ones are mine. Like the cyan, I'll be like, oh, if you see it as cyan, that's fine by me. But because it's still like red, amber, cyan, that's still like the same order of things. It's still like red, amber, green, and green means go for you. But then something like can't argue with that. Yeah, something that could erase or change your perception of something much bigger that has a much higher impact on your life might be a bit problematic. D2745, editorial unknown. This is the first recorded instance where no alteration could be detected before subject disposal. Okay. And D2753, living without time, subject under the impression that each 24-hour day counts down from 24 and that the direction clockwise and anti-clockwise are reversed. See, that's like something I would say, like, it sounds minor, but then like imagine having to deal with that as a different person. Hey man, what time is it? Oh, it's right now it's 22 o'clock. That's not possible. Like it's still in the morning, dude. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. It's 22. You want to say it's 10 o'clock, right? No, it's 22 o'clock. What? What are you saying, bro? Have you lost your mind? Okay, here we have a German sentence, or it's a German name, Freiherr von Schwarzwald. I mean, Freiherr just means free, sir, or like if I were to directly translate it like word by word, it would be free, sir, from Black Forest. So yeah. Trying to figure out what this could be. It's definitely either German or Dutch SCP based, but what it could entail, I don't know. It's a tough choice. It's a Euclid though. SCP-1063 is to be kept in a 20 x 20 x 6 meter habitat simulating a temperate, deciduous coniferous forest environment bordered by 60 centimeters thick unpolished granite. Walls covered with live moss. SCP-1063 is highly reluctant to damage objects which are supporting live plants. All personnel who enter SCP-1063 containment for any purpose are to carry live potted plants in plain view. Guards are to carry flamethrowers as well as potted plants. It is forbidden to speak English within 30 meters of SCP-1063's containment, as SCP-1063 becomes hostile towards individuals whom it has heard speaking English. It's hostile towards people who speak English. Okay. Yeah, that sounds very German. Like, the amount of times I went to Germany and I talked English to somebody, and then some random stranger would hear us and then just like barge into the conversation and just try to be like, hey, you should speak German, or like stuff like that. I'm just like, who the fuck? like even when I went to Europa Park, which is a amusement park that's basically just translated as to Europe Park. That's in Germany, and that's such a cool amusement park for me. It has like different areas based on the country, and I'm about to sneeze. Based on the country, and I went there with my class, and my class was from an international school, which means that we spoke English. And one of my friends, she spoke English to me while she was dashing to get to the next ride. And I just heard a German girl, hearing her, imitating her poorly in English, and then saying in German how annoying she is. And I'm like, what the we literally just passed by. We didn't stay with those people. We didn't say anything rude or anything weird. We just said like, let's go to the next one. That's all we said. And yeah, it seems like not everybody in Germany, of course, but a lot of people really don't like the fact that if you speak a different language. Vegetation and microfauna in SCP-1063's habitat are to be maintained according to Schedule 1063 N6. Climate in SCP-1063's habitat is to be maintained according to Schedule 1063-CX5. After each simulated rainfall, SCP-1063 is to be provided with a plain towel made of 100% natural, unbleached, undyed fiber so that it may dry its non-water resistant components. There may be different languages, but it is all universal. Exactly. Like with that girl in the amusement park, I was like, what is your deal? Like, it's not like we ruined your day just by speaking a sentence of English. It's not like we are staying with you. We literally just went by. Like, if I wasn't being dragged by my hand, anime style, just like, come with me. I'm like, what, Jesus? I would have definitely like just stopped, turned to her, and spoken German to her. Be like, what's your deal, man? What's wrong with her speaking English to us, huh? Because I did that in Switzerland, because that's where I'm from, and the international school was in Switzerland. And a couple times when we did go out to do something, like for example, ice skating, my class and I would speak in English, and then a Swiss school or a Swiss group of kids would hear us and then just poorly imitate us, and then me and all the people who spoke Swiss, German, or German would just be like, just turn around and just speak to them in Swiss German, and they shut down. They just kind of like, yeah, we heard you. We understand what you said. We speak your language because that's the language that we spoke originally first to begin with, and now we speak English as well. So I don't know what you're trying to gain here from doing that, from mocking us. So 95% of the time they just kind of like just shut down and just stop. Then the other 5% of the time they apologize. And maybe like, I don't think I ever had an encounter where like they became aggressive, but like majority of the time they just kind of like don't know how to handle it. The moment you speak at one language and then they say something in their language and you just retort within their language, they're just kind of like, wait, I did not expect this. My nose is itchy. SCP-1063 is a humanoid automaton which appears to be constructed entirely out of wood, with highly articulated joints made of wooden ball bearings of various sizes. It is 2 meters tall, 103 kilograms, and resembles a bearded Caucasian man in mid-19th century formal wear. Its lower left arm does not terminate in a hand, but instead flattens and broadens to form an axe blade almost 70 centimeters across. Although this blade is made of wood, it is razor sharp and is almost metallic in its mechanical properties. When enraged, SCP-1063 is able to sever a human head. Fucking hell! Sever human heads or limbs in a single blow, and to chop through over 30 centimeters of granite with no damage to the blade. We have another one! How is this possible that we had 3 SCPs now that talk about decapitation? How? How is this possible? SCP-1063's clothes are carved out of wood and are of a piece with its body, with the exception of several cosmetic accessories, all made of severely oxidized copper. 6 shirt buttons, a warped and dented headband encircling its head, a broken monocle rim surrounding its right eye, cufflinks on its right sleeve, a belt buckle, and a watch chain dangling from its left coat pocket, but no watch, and a tattered and faded swastika. Oh boy, a swastika armband on its right arm. Okay, it's a wooden Nazi. I did not expect that outcome. Its power source is unknown, as are the methods by which it is able to see, hear, and think. Radiographic, ultrasonic, and redacted imaging all indicates that it is solid wood, with the exception of the aforementioned cosmetic accessories. Well, ain't this lovely? Ain't this lovely? I was like, oh, it's almost like a wood golem, just with an axe made out of wood that's apparently as sharp as a metal axe. And then it's like, oh yeah, it has a swastika armband on. I was like, ah, oh, that's SCP-1063 is not able to speak, but can write in several dialects of German as well as in French. This is just a Wolfenstein robot. It is, right? Yeah, you're right. SCP-1063 is not able to speak. Psychological examination have revealed a generally affable personality characterized by mood swings and overall low intelligence. Note: researchers wishing to interview SCP-1063 should familiarize themselves with the Fraktur mode of calligraphy. This thing also has demands? Great. SCP-1063 refers to itself as Freiherr von Schwarzwald, or Lord of the Black Forest. Yeah, I mean, again, Frei means free, so, but yeah, and Herr means Lord. The Herr des Waldes, Lord of the, or the man of the forest, because Herr is also like male, so. Herrin would be the female version, so. Lord of the Black Forest, and has described itself as a genuine aristocrat, ennobled by the king himself. Can I do a German accent? The king himself. Translated from German. SCP-1063 has not been able to provide more specific information as to which king this was, as expressed scorn as a suggestion that it was Wilhelm I of Prussia, who later became the Kaiser or Emperor, describing him as an upstart and latecomer. These attitudes and other statements made by SCP-1063 indicate that it was created no later than mid-19th century, which is accordance with its style of clothing. SCP-1063 has stated that it has two purposes in existence. The first purpose, which it claims to have had since the day of my first waking, is to protect the trees and other plant life of the Black Forest region of Germany at any cost. The second purpose, which it claims to have been taught by those nice soldiers who gave me the swastika armband, is to protect Germany from English-speaking invaders. Oh, so it's... Oh no. So it wasn't born as a Nazi. It wasn't created to be a Nazi. It just happens to bump into Nazis first, and they were nice to it, and he's like, oh, okay. Oh, great. If only the Englishmen found it first. Though that made my... I say that. SCP-1063 has stated that it has SCP-1063 first came to the Foundation attention as a result of statistically enormous number of missing persons reported from the village of Redacted, Germany. In 19, Foundation personnel surveyed the region while disguised as a research party and were attacked by SCP-1063. When they began to prepare a campfire, the subject was quickly subdued and captured with no casualties. After capturing SCP-1063, personnel coerced it into showing them the bodies of people it had killed for either harmful disrespect of nature or speaking English. The bodies were then further mutilated to support a cover story of accidental discovery or leftover explosives from the Second World War. Ach ja. This is what you have to do if you want to get rid of the Englishmen. You have to create a wooden robot with a axe hand that can cut through limbs easily, and there you go. It's fucking crazy, isn't it? Oh my god. Freiherr von Schwarzwald, okay. I am the Lord of the Black Forest. Pretty dope title though, gotta say. I mean, come on, Lord of the Black Forest. That's like something you give to a gothic king in a fantasy novel. Like, come on. I mean, come on, bro. Candle ring. The ring. I can't. What's with you, man? Come on. Thinking of Spaceballs. On one hand, he's a Nazi. On the other hand, he's anti-British. Yeah, like it's... I think for multiple people, he might not be a good like a SCP you can easily, you know, buddy up with. But it also said any English-speaking people. That doesn't mean just British. That means Scottish, Irish, Canadian, American, Australian, New Zealand, any of that stuff. South African. Any of those countries, if they showed up in that forest and and just talked a little bit of, hey, what's up, bro? Then that guy would be like, oh, looks like I found my next victim. Es wird Zeit. Jokes aside, he's Belgian. Komm her. Ich will nur mit dir ein bisschen reden. Glaub mir, es tut mir mehr weh als dir. Candle ring. I don't know what candle ring could be. I'm thinking of a ring, and it's just I just think of a ritual thing, like a pentagram ritual. But instead of like having multiple candles, it's just one long ass ring made out of candle wax. And if you light them up, something just comes out, just right out of the portal. Just you have summoned me. I am now forever in your debt. For now, I can cause havoc. Oh, it's safe. Never mind. I mean, I guess it's safe because you have to actually light up the candle. Oh god. The pizza. Alright, when not required for testing purposes, SCP-1064 is to be contained in sealed storage locker located within Sector 28. Since SCP-1064 is considered to be harmless when not actively in use, no further precautions are required to be taken at this time. SCP-1064 is a novelty ring made of pink-colored plastic. The setting is designed to hold a small candle of the kind typically found on birthday cakes. SCP-1064 has no visible markers, mark, or distinguishing features and appears to have been mass-produced using standard plastic molding techniques. Okay. If no candle has been inserted into the setting, so you have to insert a candle into the ring. Okay. SCP-1064 will not cause any effect when worn or otherwise handled. Test subjects experience no compulsion either to put on SCP-1064 or to insert a candle into it. And if this leads to somehow another decapitation, I'll be really concerned that we just had the decapitation round of this stream. When a candle is inserted into SCP-1064 and lit whilst it's being worn, the wearer will experience one of two phenomena. Around 80% of the people who wear SCP-1064 will claim that the candle is in some way intrinsically linked to their own life expectancy. No! Stop it! Individuals affected in this way appear to believe that as the candle melts away, a portion of their lifespan will be irrevocably taken from them. Test subjects affected in this way will attempt to extinguish the candle in any way possible, most commonly by blowing it out, but will not try to remove SCP-1064 itself. So some guy with who was wearing the ring just walking to somebody else like, dude, please, blow it out, and he's like, whoa, why? It looks pretty nice. Blow it out! For the love of God, please, I need you to blow it out right now. Just do it for me. Just do it for me. Just do it, please. I beg of you. Come on, just do it. I'm scared, dude. I'm scared. And the guy, you just there like, okay, I guess I'll blow it out. Thank you. It's like, you okay? I'm better than okay. I'm alive. Once the candle has been extinguished, the wearer will exhibit a strong desire to continue to wear SCP-1064 and to keep the candle in the setting. If this is not possible, they will make efforts to keep the candle in their possession, often insisting that it is now an intrinsic part of them. I'm alive. But I'm keeping this. It's mine now. My precious. Dude, you just told me to fucking blow it out and now you're acting all fucking golem like. What is up with you? In the remaining 20% of cases, the wearer will claim to have experienced time at an altered pace, with events around them taking place much faster than usual. Test subjects affected in this way will typically move and communicate slowly whilst the candle remains lit. Whilst in the vast majority of cases, test subjects find this experience to be disorienting and will be reluctant to repeat the experiment, a handful have expressed a wish to use SCP-1064 again due to the false belief that it is a time-traveling ring. Yeah, nah, that's not what it is, fellas. Extensive testing has found that SCP-1064 does not cause the tissue of test subject to age or degrade in any way which might suggest the life expectancy has been shown by it. All test subjects, regardless of their experience, appear to age at a natural rate both during and after testing, and no lasting physical effects have been recorded. Furthermore, tests have shown that those test subjects who undergo the second of the two phenomena exhibit no recordable alteration in brain activity, and to suggest that they are experiencing time at an altered speed. Examination of candles after their use in SCP-1064 have shown no alterations in properties other than those to be expected as a result of them being burned. I mean, it's at least nice to know that you don't actually age, you just have the impression you do. But yeah, at the same time, the fact that like you blow it out and some people just go like, it's mine, would be kind of weird. Just like, yeah, just imagine, just like, man, dude, can you just please blow it out? I'm freaking the fuck out. It's my candle. It's like, okay, you do you, friend. You do you. And then number 8, Dr. Hill, following the death of D1845, after a candle was allowed to burn away completely in SCP-1064, all testing is to be put on hold until the cause of the subject's death can be confirmed. So wait a minute. So do they do that? They do die if the candle just decides to like go all the way? Pardon? You can't just say that. Addendum B, Dr. Hill inserting novelty relighting candles into SCP-1064 is not recommended. As far as I'm concerned, watching D2097 remove her own finger by dildo expunged with the edge of the table was a fairly conclusive test result. Okay. You didn't have to go that extreme about it. God damn, boy. I reached the halfway point. I'm gonna give myself some water because I had pizza with anchovies and the anchovies are now activating. So I'm thirsty. I'm a thirsty boy. I'll be right back. Let me just do that real quick. There we go. I'm back. Okay. Hey Anon, I know I asked you already, but I hope you're having a good time since, you know, a lot of these SCP you already know yourself, so I hope you enjoy just going through them with me. I know like it's probably a lot of either A, no, I think it's just for you just remembering all this again, isn't it? So yeah. Just glad that you decided to become like a regular when it comes to these type of streams. I got my back. My achy breaky back. I want my baby back. I want my baby back, 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 baby back. Baby back ribs, barbecue sauce. Okay, back to my sound effects. Okay. Self-immolating books. What does immolating mean? What does immolation? Kill or offer as a sacrifice. These books burn themselves or kill themselves? Like, how is it? Oh yeah, you read me? Fine. Spontaneous combustion. Nobody else is gonna read me anymore. Not after this one. You're the first and the only one who gets to read me. imagine just, oh my god, imagine being in bed. If that's the SCP, imagine being in bed, just reading this book. You're all excited. It's the last 5 pages, and you're like, yeah, we're getting to the conclusion. And you read the last 5 pages, and you're like, oh, I had a good time reading this. And suddenly the book just fucking catches on fire, and you're just like, what the? Help me! Just screaming because like your book exploded. Yeah, of course it's. I mean, if it follows to my logic, I can see how it's safe because you have to read it. Because I don't think a book. I mean, unless you don't have to read it, the book just does it automatically. It just decides to like, hey man, I don't care if you read me or not. Eventually, I'll go boom. And you're just there like, uh-oh. Gotta read this book quickly. Okay. So, save. Dash 1 through 4 are to be contained in individual near vacuum anaerobic chambers fitted with manipulation. Access for at least 1 user per chamber. No forms of written information, including information directly regarding SCP-1065, are to be kept in proximity to SCP-1065. Due to SCP-1065's anomalous effect, if one or more individual object needs to be removed from its vacuum containment, it must be handled in an environment of at least 98% humidity at ambient temperatures not to exceed 21 degrees Celsius. So it basically is probably like a book that just catches on fire really easily. While full hazardous materials protection is not currently deemed necessary, latex gloves or other methods to prevent direct skin contact is required for anyone handling SCP-1065. Gotta make sure I have my radiation suit on. You have to deal with radiation? Nah. Books. SCP-1065 is a 4-volume series of books written in Eastern Slavic language, apparently of the early to mid 1800s, and possibly an obscure local dialect of or mixture of languages. My neck is itchy. The overarching title roughly translates to The Angels of Free Knowledge. They are bound with red leather featuring Foch's golden embossing and show both fire and water damage around the edges. Along with significant foxing, discoloration, and degradation to the aging, molding, etc. of the paper. No author print dates or other publishing information are contained within, although the materials have the appearance of being produced on a commercial printing press. The text of the books read as the oh my god. Go find out how this is pronounced. Treatise. Okay. Against general education, dispersal of knowledge, and ironically written information. The actual words hold no anomalous properties and have been fully transcribed for study and cross-referencing. Document 1065-0011. The anomalous properties become evident when someone makes physical contact with one or more of the books, at which point they begin to subscribe to the ideals contained within, even if they do not actually read any of the text. Oh no. While this begins as a general understanding and mild agreement, prolonged exposure produces increased dedication to the principles put forth in the books, eventually searching such extremes as the instigation of violent uprising against establishing governmental and educational systems, public vandalizing and destruction of written text, and the destruction of public storehouses of written text such as libraries or bookstores. Uh-oh. Now that's a big fat problem. The effects will eventually wear off once physical contact with the book is broken, taking approximately 26 hours for every minute of continuous physical contact. Wow, so wait, hold on. So if somebody were to hold the book for let's just say half an hour of holding the book, that is that's 780 hours. That's 780 hours of how many is that in days, dude? That's a whole month. So if somebody held that book for half an hour, it would take them over a month to get snapped back to normal. That is crazy. That's a crazy long time. A secondary effect occurs whenever the books are left unused for a period of time exceeding 1 month, after which they will self-immolate. The books suffer no damage from their own produced flames, but have been shown to be vulnerable to fires produced by other means, including individuals under its effects, as well as any other sort of potential damage. The flames do not seem to be able to manifest in areas where humidity is at least 95% and ambient temperatures below 23.9 degrees Celsius. Nowhere the nose is itchy. Nowhere oxygen levels are too low for flames to efficiently burn. That's why a vacuum sealed containment. And ambient temperatures similarly to flames are able to be extinguished through any standard means and show no anomalous properties besides their origin. Addendum. Recently recovered records show a number of otherwise inexplicable fires occurring at a series of libraries and universities throughout Eastern Europe, all tied to an acquisition of SCP-1065 approximately 1 week before the fire. As SCP-1065 was discovered and contained following a fire in the redacted government hall shortly after the breakup of the USSR, and any prior records of transfer of the books had been lost and presumed destroyed in the blaze. Dr. K was given a citation of merit for his diligence and tracking down the prior history of the objects, as well as the theory that SCP-1065's period before ignition is significantly reduced when multiple instances are kept together, and further reduced when stored in proximity to other pieces of written knowledge. Damn, boy. These books just want to see everything else burn, and if they can't see that, they just burn themselves. I'm not sure if she's going to be able to watch my streaming time, because this last 4 SCPs already coming up. Ow, my elbow. Who's barking? I heard a woof outside. Instant education. Well, if this is an SCP that teaches you instantly everything you need to know, it's pretty dope. I mean, I can understand that that might not be a good thing to have, because, you know... I mean, is it not good? Well, it depends on what kind of education it is, right? Might be education you don't really want people to just freely have. Might even be an instant education about the Foundation itself. Oh god, what is this? Hey, we have I see 028 down there, so let me just get that ready in case, okay? I also see a lot of black boxes, so that's gonna be fun. SCP-1066 is to be kept in a document storage box large enough to contain it without folding or rolling. It should be stored on a standard shelving unit in storage site 23. Any personnel with level 2 or higher clearance wishing to run tests on SCP-1066 should speak with Dr. P. Voreno. Okay, what does this thing show us? This says SCP-1066, but... different language, isn't it? Yeah, historical heritum. It's a different language. I cannot. Here we go. SCP-1066 is a college diploma issued by the University of dated 19. It is printed on a 0.5 by 0.3 meter sheet of parchment. No abnormalities have been found in either the ink or the parchment, and both match similar diplomas issued by in the 19s. SCP-1066 is no more resistant to damage than any other year-old piece of parchment, so care should be taken while handling it to avoid damage. Upon flames in particular should be kept away from the object. When a man who is at least 17 years of age signs his name in the space labeled graduating student, he will disappear for 4 to 10 minutes and return 4 years older. Okay. The subject seems to have lived those years as a student at between 19 and 19, graduating on the day written on the document, and earned a degree in whatever subject he was thinking of while signing the document. I want to graduate in the subject of eating puss. Just kidding. Just absolutely slaying the bedroom, bro. I want to master that. I want to get a bachelor's degree for that one. Whether you offer the classes in the subject in 19 or not, the text on the subject 1066 will change to reflect this. The subject will have no memory of the 4 years not directly related to this subject of study. See Addendum-1 for more details. There's no effect when a woman signs her name on SCP-1066, as you did not accept women in 19. This is unsurprising. Well, I mean, so you just get an education in whatever subject you wanted, but not for the ladies, because sexism back then was strong. You were one, you don't get to go to college. No, this ain't yours. Which it's so dumb. Just the idea is so dumb. It is worth noting that approximately % of subjects do not survive the 4 years. Excuse-moi. What do you mean they don't survive? In these cases, the corpse will return when the expected amount of decay. Marvelous. Either get an education or die trying to get an education. Beautiful. The death rate is not consistent with that of students at U in 19. However, these results are skewed since many test subjects have been ordered to think of mimetic effects of dangerous SCP objects. I see. So like, yeah, okay. Yeah, if they think of a dangerous SCP while signing this, they're gonna have a whole class involved around that SCP, which probably also involves, dealing with that SCP, and then they die. SCP-1066 was recovered from the campus of U on 2000. The administration had been offering an accelerated learning program to students for the standard 4-year tuition plus a fee of. It is unknown why nobody knows the rapid aging of some graduates. If this is a property of the object, it is yet to be discovered. I'm surprised nobody also talked like, hey, we still did 4 years. Just not in this reality. The object was retrieved without casualties, and Class B amnestics were administered to the administration, and all recorded graduates. It is very likely that some or most of the graduates were not recorded, but the risk of any graduates revealing the existence of SCP-1066 is low, and as such finding them is a low priority task. Similarities between the effect of SCP-1066 and SCP-028, which was knowledge. Yeah, wasn't that? Isn't it area near a store? Year 6 after N. You receive complete and random knowledge of some field, entering and yeah. I remember you. Vaguely, very vaguely, but I remember you. Have been noted and investigation to a common origin or whether one anomaly is an altered version of the other is ongoing. Noble test results. Okay, Dr. P. Voreno. 2000. And that's the only time I'm going to do that. Oh god. Burping so many times, dude. Subject D1066-1. Yeah, okay. Subject was simply instructed to sign a document. The subject gained a degree in calligraphy. Review of experiment tapes indicate that the subject has been focusing intently on signing the document in his best handwriting. The subject's handwriting showed a marked improvement after the test. He had no memory of the time in which he was gone. Subject was terminated on schedule at the end of the month. Subject gained a tattoo of the phrase, "The pen is my and his sword," translated into Chinese on his left pectoral. Of course he did. Of course he did. Oh god, it's getting chilly in here. So subject -5. Subject was instructed to think of his favorite animal. The subject gained a degree in marine mammal biology. When questioned, the subject said that his favorite animal was the dolphin. The subject also had vivid dreams of scuba diving next to the various marine mammals until he was terminated at the end of the month. The subject showed familiarity with scuba equipment after the test, and when asked, he claimed to never have taken a scuba certification course. Okay. Subject D7. Mimetic SCP was described to the subject, who was then instructed to think only of that while signing the document. Subject gained degree in the mimetic studies. However, the subject refused to communicate in any way with researchers after returning and was terminated on schedule. No log training researcher for this thing so far. Oh, we're trying to like figure out like if there's like a way to like gain knowledge about an SCP this way. Nope, sadly no, that's not the case. Subject D14. Subject was instructed to think of the phrase "advanced memetics." Subject showed above average intelligence in D-class screening. Subject returned in a vegetative state consistent with the effects of redacted. Subject 9 through 13 were all instructed to think of memetic effects, and all returned showing signs of exposure to some sort of memetic agents known as the Foundation in 19. Dr. P. Voreno. Oh god, my head is... I want head pads so bad, but I'm not going to get any. Okay, here we have now research assistant, and that's the same subject. Okay, this was an unauthorized test. Research assistant was apparently trying to gain sufficient credentials to be promoted to full researcher. Research assistant returned with a degree in SP studies. The SCP in this case apparently is an acronym for supercomputer processors. He now has a knowledge of supercomputers consistent with the year 19. Research assistant was demoted to clearance level 0 and transferred from storage site 23. I just wanted to have a promotion. Why can't you just let me get a promotion, dude? Yeah, no, this SCP seems pretty practical, to be honest. Of course, if you're not careful, you might die, but I mean, overall, it sounds like a pretty sweet deal. I don't think it's any issue of just being able to like learn about whatever the hell you want to learn and gain a whole degree out of it. Tea making teaspoons. So teaspoons that just produce tea. Different shapes of teaspoons or different colors of teaspoons create different types of teas, maybe. Or you put the teaspoon in and you kind of whirl around and it just becomes tea. We had a lot of safe in this in these 10. I'm pretty sure we only had like 2 to 3 Euclids. Probably, I'm pretty sure it was only 2. I'm 100%, no, I'm 95% sure it was only, we only had 2 Euclids. Yeah. All components of SCP-1067 are locked in the drawer 6 of locker 1 of custom-built stainless steel lockers measuring 3 meters height and 0.4 meters in width and depth. This locker and the items inside are currently assigned to Department 42 and monitored via CCTV. SCP-1067 is to be returned to the locker when not in use and must be vacuum sealed in a polythene bag after being thoroughly dehydrated before being returned. Additional security includes marking with ultraviolet ink on all components to prevent theft. Any member of staff who wishes to conduct tests on SCP-1067 may do so with the approval of Administrator Samson, although they must be supervised by at least one Department 43 operative. Please note the application of SCP-1067 for recreational purposes is strictly forbidden. SCP-1067 consists of 4 components. So -A to -D. -A is a hinged leather-bound container 25.50 x 14.2 x 2.50 centimeters in dimension. The inside of -A is lined with the blue velvet and appears to be designed to contain -B to -D. However, spaces indicate that there are 3 missing components. -B to be missing components. Excuse me. -B to -D is a set of 3 silver-plated teaspoons, each of which measures 10.57 centimeters in length, 2.50 centimeters in width, and 1 centimeter in depth. -B to -D are all identical except for the handles, which each have a unique ornament attached, all bearing relation to the modern Western wedding traditions. Okay, here we go. -B. God, my. Okay. -B, decorated with a bouquet of red tulips. Any liquid which comes into direct contact with -B immediately become Earl Grey tea. Independent of the liquid's composition, this effect extends to extremely viscous gel, although not to vapors. -B has also demonstrated a second unexplained ability when using SCP-1067 to steer a solution of water and sucrose. Subject reports feeling resistance in the solution. When removed, SCP-1067 brought with it a small quantity of white granules, which when tasted turned out to be ordinary granulated sugar and displayed no anomalous properties. Repetition of this action results in any sucrose in the solution being scooped out in its solid form to the point at which the solution is totally free of sucrose. -C. Decorated with a wedding carriage, solutions stirred with -C continue to stir themselves for up to 4 hours after the initial stirring. Even obstructed with a solid object, any liquids that come into contact with -C immediately become oolong tea. Oh, oolong. These effects have been observed with a broad variety of input solutions, but seem to be ineffective with extremely viscous putties. -C has been described by subjects as being quite heavy for its size, although analysis of -C composition indicates ordinary density levels. -D, decorated with the figure of a bride and groom. Experimentation shows -D to be capable of fabricating pasteurized cow's milk upon contact with fluids. The milk is non-toxic as per usual, but produces slightly higher levels of radiation than would be normally expected. Whew. SCP-1067 was discovered to possess unique ability by Dr. G. While preparing coffee, Excuse me, there we go. Doctor states that he received SCP-1067 as a gift from his sister Fiona in 1973. Through an interview, it was revealed that SCP-1067 was first purchased in York, UK. Miss stated that SCP-1067 was purely an impulse buy without precedence. Subject was administered a Class C amnestic before being released. At this time, the abilities of SCP-1067 are without explanation despite detailed examination and multiple trials. SCP-1067 is currently under the care of Department 43 of Site under the jurisdiction of Administrator Sampson and will remain so until further notice. Addendum A. Mass spectrometry of samples from -B, C, and D confirms the composition of these atoms to be primarily copper with fine silver plating. Researchers are unanimous in agreeing that presence of both scandium and zirconium impurities is highly irregular in copper. Progress has still not been made as to the source of SCP-1067's metamorphic properties. Interesting. Now I heard somebody yell outside. Okay. That's 2 1s, huh? Harmless nuke. Well, yeah. It's either a nuke that just never goes off no matter how much you damage it, no matter how much like you try to activate it, it doesn't go off. Or it does, but the explosion is nothing to worry about. It's just weird stuff. Maybe some sunshine and rainbows. Not safe, eh? Packaged SCP-1068s are to be kept in a large underground storage site beneath Site-76. The walls of the room are to be soundproofed and electromagnetically shielded so as to prevent damage to other facilities. Researchers should wear shade, goggles, or earplugs and ear muffs to prevent permanent sensory damage when handling or experimenting with SCP-1068. Records should be kept through non-electronic medium. Any detonation are to be scheduled in advance and communicated to all personnel to avoid confusion with a standard on-site nuclear device. Any example of SCP-1068 outside of Foundation control are to be seized discreetly and brought to Site-76 via armored transport. In the event of an SCP-1068 activation outside of the site's perimeters, all available Foundation diplomatic resources are to be dispatched into negotiations to pacify both national and international relevant governing bodies and, if necessary, inform them of the nature of SCP-1068. So it can give a sign to governments that it looks like an actual nuke went off, and of course, you know how the world is with nukes. If one went off, they're like, who sent it, who used it, should we use ours? Yeah. SCP-1068 are model rockets approximately 1 meter in length. They resemble a simplified version of the LGM-30 ICBM model and are covered in unpainted white plastic with the words Atom Buster etched in one side. This assembly of the objects exposes a cylindrical fuel tank and engine assembly filled with ethanol, ditto expunged, mixture. A 30 centimeter long fuse leads out of the rocket base and is the primary method of ignition. When activated, SCP-1068 will launch at a velocity of 45 meters per second before falling back down to the ground and exploding. Upon detonation, SCP-1068 activates an intense bright light and loud sounds similar to those of a conventional nuclear device. It will also create a weak radio wave pulse similar to an EMP, temporarily knocking all electronic communications within a radius of a kilometer and preventing any further close observation and communication with the area for up to 20 hours. So that, yeah, of course, that will tell the government something's up. It's like, oh, hey, something nuke-like went off. There's no physical, so far it hasn't talked about physical damage though. Immediately following detonation, a large column of low-density non-toxic gases will rise up from the point of detonation, coalescing into a shape similar to a mushroom cloud released by extreme temperatures. For all the intents and purpose, the event will resemble a fission reaction without actually causing any harm beyond sensory damage. So it looks like a nuke, sounds like a nuke, does many things like a nuke, it just doesn't do actual radiation damage or like force damage or anything like that. SCP-1068 comes contained in red cylindrical cardboard packaging shaped to resemble a simplified missile silo. On the front, there is a clear plastic window to show off the model, along with the price tag of $19.99. On the back of the box are a description of the object, several safety labels and warnings, and an artist's rendition of the explosion of the Trinity nuclear tests. Information on the back of SCP-106-8 packaging. Harness the raw cat power of it's Dr. Wonder Damon. That's why. He's back. Just like sorry. Just like John. Wait a minute. John Wick, right? Wick. That's what it was. I was like, why did I think of Wit? Just like John Wick. It's just like, everybody's been keep asking me if I'm back. And I'm thinking I'm back. That's Dr. Wonder Damon right now. New line of model rockets with the Atom Buster. This pin-sized monster launches 1,000 feet in the air before plummeting to a climactic explosion of nuclear proportions. Truman would be proud, utilizing a state-of-the-art light and sound system. The greatest weapon ever detonated can be used again on your front lawn. You can even customize your model with the accompanying realistic decal sheet to make its launch a more awesome one. Buy the complimentary Dr. Wonder Damon's wonderful paint set, accurate and deadly artillery aiming platform, and big red button remote activator to seriously complete your mega arsenal of doom. For ages 9 and up. Caution: protective eyewear and earplugs, earmuffs required. Do not attempt to remove the fuel, fuse, or engine from the Atom Buster without adult supervision. Not suitable for children under 8 years of age. Dr. Wonder Damon is not responsible for any damage caused by the Atom Buster. What do you mean not responsible for any damage caused by the Atom Buster? You're selling something. You are absolutely responsible for any damage, especially if it's meant to cause damage. Addendum 1. During Incident 6 in the province, the Chaos Insurgency intercepted a shipment of SCP-1068 being transported from Site 103 and stole 5 cases of the product in the ensuing firefight, requesting permission to preemptively warn all nuclear-capable government of SCP-1068 Dr. Johnson. Yeah, you have to now, because that shit is just floating around out there. Last one, huh? YS or WISE. Not sure what that could be all about, so let's go and read it. And here, the last one is a Euclid. The area within a 5-kilometer radius of Dash 1 has been marked as off limits to civilian access under the guise of environmental chemical containment, and all Foundation staff located on site are to operate under the cover of an environmental cleanup organization. Exploration or experimentation with Dash 1 may only be performed with prior permission from at least 2 Level 3 senior researchers, and all personnel within the area must wear full soundproofed ear protectors or modulated sound processing headset at all times. Any individuals attempting to enter this area without authorization, appropriate acoustic protection, or in an attempt to communicate with SCP-106-9-3 without prior permission will be detained, questioned, and administered a Class B amnestic if deemed necessary. Dash 1 is a submerged city 3 kilometers off the coast of Redacted, France, at a depth of approximately 220 meters. Dash 1 covers an area of approximately 4.8 kilometers squared and is surrounded by a high dike constructed of bronze and Redacted, indicating that it may have once been a coastal city. Dating of recovered artifacts and materials indicate that SCP-1069 is at least 1,500 years old, and surveys of the intact sections of the city indicate that it would have been one of the largest cities of its era, in addition to containing architecture and high-strength construction that exceeds the technological capabilities of any known civilization of the time. Recovered artifacts have also revealed written script belonging to what has been tentatively identified as a previously unknown Breton or Brythonic language. Extensive analysis of the city buildings have revealed damage consistent with a large-scale tsunami and subsequent flooding. Due to the lack of damage to the city exterior dike, it is unknown precisely what this event entailed, as a wave of sufficient height to crest the walls would presumably have been of sufficient magnitude to result in far more catastrophic damage to the city itself. -2 is the population of intangible humans entities inhabiting -1, currently estimated in excess of 78,000 individuals. Those individuals appear to be dressed in clothing from a large cross-section of historical periods so far determined to be as early as 500 AD and as recent as World War II era military dress, and have been observed engaging in activity inconsistent with those of 5th century city life. Instances of -2 do not appear to be able to perceive or otherwise acknowledge the existence of living humans, subject even when attempting to communicate directly with particular instances. -3 is a specific female humanoid entity within -1, consistently described as having a regal composure and being dressed in clothing consistent with that of 5th century nobility. -3 is capable of communicating and conversing with particular personnel, especially those with high level of extrasensory sensitivity. -3 does not appear to be hostile or dangerous to Foundation personnel, but multiple personnel have described seeing unusual pristine and delphine features, such as fins or a tail, when -3 is in the peripheral vision and on several occasions been the target of attempts to convince personnel to live within the city. Oh, it wants more people to join us. Live with me. Live within the city. I love the city. SB-1069 was discovered on 19 by a civilian archaeological expedition attempting to locate and explore underwater ruins near Redacted. Foundation agents embedded within the expedition called for backup following the disappearance of 3 civilian team members during initial contact and exploration. A containment team was successful in securing SB-1069. What SCP is this? This is 1069, the last one that I'm reading today. It seems to be a underwater city with ghost humans from different times and I guess a queen who happens to, like, from the peripheral vision, like if you're not really paying attention to her, looks like a mermaid, but when you look at her, she looks like a human being. And she's trying to convince you to, like, hey, how about you stay in the city with me, yeah? Just stay here, it's nice. Foundation agents embedded with the expedition called for backup following the disappearance of 3 civilian team members during initial contact and exploration. A containment team was successful in securing also welcome to Fluff, by the way. Thank you for coming in. Was successful in securing SCP-1069, and all surviving expedition members were administered a Class A amnestics and given a cover story. Addendum 1, Incident Report, Incident 1069-8-19. During a submersible survey dive within the eastern district of -1, performed by members of the Foundation research team, doctors, and were apparently engaged in conversation by -3 from fragments of audio recovered from the remains of the submersible audio recorders. It appears that the researchers conversed for several minutes before the submersible main pressure hatch is compromised through unexplained means, resulting in a catastrophic depressurization of the vehicle. The wreckage of the submersible was recovered from the eastern district without incident, along with the clothes and personal effects of doctors, and no bodies or other human remains were located. In subsequent exploration, dives on site personnel have reported identified instances of -2 matching the description of doctors, and in the eastern district of -1 wearing contemporary casual clothing. As with all such instances, they did not respond to attempts to communicate or otherwise attract their attention. Addendum 2, Interview Transcript 19. Following the events of Incident 8, authorization was given to for Dr. A senior researcher known to have been able to draw the attention of Dash 3 in a prior survey dive to attempt to interview Dash 3. Here we go. Welcome back. Have you come to join us this time? Oh wait, this is Dash 3, never mind. Welcome back. Have you come to join us this time? No, but I would like to ask you a few questions. Certainly. Who are you, exactly? I am Dahoud, daughter of Gradlon. There are those who would call me queen, but I am merely a caretaker of the city. All who seek refuge here are equal. Two of our personnel recently disappeared here. Do you know them? Redacted and redacted. Yes, of course, I do. I know the names of all who shelter within my walls. What did you do to them? Why did you take them? Take them? I'm afraid you are mistaken. I will never keep someone here against their will. Others who live here do so of their own accord. Assuming you are telling the truth, what exactly did you do to them? They are sheltered here within my walls by my power. Can you release them? I told you that I do not keep them. If they wish to leave, then all they must do is ask. I cannot make that decision for them any more than I could force them to live here in the first place. Those men have families, you know. They have to. Yes, they do. Families with children who have grown up and spouses who have grown cold. They have no desire to remain in a world where every waking hour is one living in fear from the unknown. I have chosen my sanctuary instead. How do you know that? They told me. Just as they told me that you, redacted, are yet unmarried and unlikely to be convinced to join them. You're lying. Why would I lie? All I've ever asked for is the right to live in peace, away from the politics and machinations of those who would rule the world. I have tolerated your kind for as long as you have sought to control that which you do not understand, and despite the best efforts to destroy me, I have endured. I don't know what you're talking about. No, of course not. But your leaders who will read this conversation do. I sought to create a sanctuary, a city of peace on the coast. You precursors who felt threatened by my ability sought to sully my name and spread lies to dissuade their followers from finding refuge within those walls. For years, decades even, they tried to destroy me, first through words, then by force of arms, then finally with magic. The wall of water pulled the city beneath the waves, but both I and the ones I swore to protect have survived. Ask your leaders, redacted. Ask them to tell you the truth, that they knew of us and have always known. Ask them why I must be considered a threat, why centuries of legend and myth consider me a demon, and why all power, even that which is used to keep safe and protect, is an abomination. Perhaps then you will see what has truly transpired here and what evil lies within their hearts. Good day, redacted. I wish you well. Addendum 3, research note. As of 2000, all further expedition to SCP-1069 have been suspended pending further investigation and research into Dash-3 subversive capabilities. All personnel having had direct contact with Dash-3 are to be quarantined on the telepathic mimetic agent contamination protocols immediately. Yeah, I mean, at the end, even though she seems to say like, hey, I'm not doing anything wrong, I'm just protecting this place, I'm just protecting the people in this place, and they came here on their own accord, doesn't mean that maybe she doesn't have any, magical, charismatic, persuasive abilities that just makes you just suddenly change your mind. But yeah, here's the list. So, I mean, it's a strong start to start with an SCP that talks about how its organs are shot out of your body, and then how long have you been doing this? I've been reading SCPs since 2020, and I've been streaming SCPs for a little bit over a year now. So yeah, that's how it's been. It took me a year to get 500. Well, I mean, I had breaks in between. I had like either vacations or some weekends I didn't stream this. So, but yeah, overall it took me a year to read at least over 500. So yeah, Penangalan. The fact that it starts off with like the the organs and guts flying out, and then the decapitated head just floating around with a extra long tongue just flicking like a snake tongue. That's a strong start. Freiherr from Schwarzwald, as it is translated in German, Lord of the Black Forest, a robot made out of wood that just so happens to be okay with having a swastika armband around its arm. I mean, it seems to be influenced by the Nazis and doesn't like English-speaking people. Harmless nuke. Yeah, I was wondering Dr. One Entertainment will come back, and he did, by creating a toy that works like a nuke, except it doesn't have the actual destruction afterwards. It just, the majority of it looks like it. The only part that can be very destructive is the EMP effect afterwards. Wise, yeah, I mean, I like the idea of this SCP. I kind of want this SCP to not have any bad intentions and to not have any magical or memetic ability to persuade people to stay with it. I want it to be legit. I want it to just actually be just a mermaid creature that just decided like, hey, my city is a safe haven, and the people that stayed here just kind of had enough of the bullshit of the world, and that's why they're here, and that's all they needed. Even the families they didn't want to tolerate anymore because they just knew it was not really, there was no connection. Instant education, yeah, I mean, I think that one's just useful, even though it's a shame that women cannot use it. But it's definitely useful if you want to learn anything, as long as you like think of what you want to learn, and then you just end up learning it, and you get a bachelor's degree for that. I think that's pretty useful. But yeah, of course, it's not really a good idea to have that just lying around. Candle ring. I just still love the idea that somebody puts a ring on, puts a candle in, puts it on fire, and just thinks like, oh shit, this candle's connected to my life. And then it just runs around in panic, like, please, for the love of God, blow it out, bro. And then the person blows it out, and they just think to themselves like, thank the Lord. This candle's now mine. This candle in the ring is now mine. The accidental car, I mean, we had a lot of decapitation in this reading, so the fact that literally the second one talked about also a head missing was wild to me. But it does seem like it's one of those things where like it's basically, it repeats an accident of a woman over and over and over again, and then some weird mist comes along and just steals the head. And then if you're a new person sitting in that car, she's back. The woman's back there, and then she just drives around with it again. I mean, I feel like it's very simple. It's a very simple and also I had already an SCP that had to do with a car accident that was on loop. So I think that's the reason why it's a bit lower on the list. I still think it's like the fact that a mist just comes along is like, let me just take that hair right here. Thank you. Tea making teaspoons. Yeah, I mean, that's just from a concept. It's pretty nice to just have 3 teaspoons. You just stir it in the water and it just makes different tea. And you just, they're like, oh yeah, Earl Grey, nice. The Endless Magazine time. Yes, so you read the magazine, and then some sort of thing that is normal common knowledge is changed for you. Either A, you don't know what cutlery is anymore, or you think the left is right and right is left, stuff like that. I think it's cool, but I feel like they should have given a couple examples where it could be really detrimental, because like you didn't see that toe stopper, but Anon, irrelevant Anon, and I were talking about, like, he was saying like, oh, this is not such a bad SCP. I was like, yeah, but what if you forget something big, like what transportation is, just public transport or just transportation in general, and you have to, like, you just witness your partner freaking out over a car, a train, a ship, a plane, a helicopter, anything like that, and like, how are you gonna deal with that? How are you gonna deal with, like, having to reteach somebody everything when it comes to vehicles? So I wish that that SCP would talk something like more like detrimental, just to see like how that affects a person. And then self-immolating books, yeah. So you touch the book, it makes you want to burn stuff down, and if you don't touch the book for a while, then the book burns itself for some reason. It doesn't burn away, but it just decides to go on fire. And that's the SCPs for today. For everybody who has joined, Anon, Toastubber, thank you so much. Tomorrow we're gonna read the 1070s. Yeah, we're reaching almost. Oh yeah, that's kind of scary to not remember something. Yeah, I know, right? Like the first two were a bit freaky, and then there were a couple like silly ones in there. But yeah, no, it was a good read. But yeah, we're getting close to the 1100 mark. So I believe after next weekend, we should be... Yeah, after next weekend, we should be almost there. Because we have 1080s and 90s on Saturday and Sunday next weekend. And then the next weekend, that's when we reach 1100. But yeah, for now, I hope I get to see you guys tomorrow at 9 p.m. London time, which I believe is GMT, and yeah. Otherwise, I hopefully see you guys on Wednesday with Lexi, if she can stream again, and or Thursday, Friday when I stream some Hades or Devil May Cry 5. So for now, I wish you all a good morning, afternoon, evening, and the Afro is with you.